My name's John, and this is Doug, and we have Alex and Madeline here as well. Today is about AI, specifically security and data governance, and the implications within the legal profession. So Doug and I are going to start by giving you a crash course in what is data governance and different types of AI. And then Alex from I2M will talk about how he helps firms implement this software and AI into practices. And then finally, Madeline is going to screen share and give us a live demo on some of the AI features that iManage platform has recently rolled out that you might not be aware of. That's all four of us right there. So you may be familiar with a couple of these incidences that are specific to the legal industry. Slater and Gordon last year caused a bit of a kerfuffle. We more recently had in January a lawyer caught using ChatGPT to cite case law that didn't exist. Just 2 weeks ago in the UK, the regulator approved the first AI law firm. And top right, this is a deceased victim impact statement that was generated by AI in the US. Really good example. So that's this black code thing down the bottom there that I'll get Doug to talk about.
Yeah, so these articles that we're seeing here are a good illustration of poor governance that has been implemented before the adoption of AI tools. This bottom piece here on the right is speaking kind of more directly to overshare of sensitive information. So in this example, a user has uploaded a license key for a software application and also the licensee name there. And that's information that's kind of publicly accessible now. So that's just a pretty light example, but Samsung have fallen victim to that themselves as well. So it's just an illustration of the concerns that are real about the overshare of sensitive information.
And added to that, this was an actual law firm as well, and it was a PDF software, so quite serious. Just some quick stats to show you how big an issue this is. Now, why are we talking about AI and data governance? Well, everyone wants to use AI, but data governance, or lack thereof, is the number one preventer of adoption of AI within organizations for reasons that will soon become apparent. So everyone wants to use AI, but data governance is a prerequisite for the legal and sanctioned use of AI within organizations. So what is data governance?
Data governance is nothing new, right? It's been around for a long time. It's taken a front seat, I guess, over the last wee while as businesses transition into SaaS or the cloud, and again as AI has taken a front seat in our kind of vision.
Today we're speaking specifically about AI and data governance. Now we need to be really specific about which AI is being used because it makes a huge difference on the data governance implications of that. So you may be familiar with this AI term or AGI or Gen AI, but there's lots of different brands. And then within those brands, there are different sub-products and different ways you can configure those products, which have different security and data governance implications. So I'll give you an example from me before I knew more than I do now. It's a bit embarrassing, but if you have ChatGPT, type in what do you know about me? And if you haven't deselected these two things in your settings, which is on the right-hand side, these two little things underneath memory, basically it's taking every conversation you've had with ChatGPT, storing it on there, and then also feeding that into public training of the model itself.
I think you used the word high octane for AI, Doug, and that's spot on because it's one of those things that's just moving so quickly at the moment. I'm from I2M and we are a boots on the ground provider of legal technology in Australia. iManage is the global leader for knowledge work, designed by lawyers 30 odd years ago for lawyers. It currently has about 82% of all legal operations in Australia utilizing the document knowledge solution. For iManage, the approach was really considered, really measured. They didn't rush to market with a solution that was focused on, just getting something out the door. In fact, they only really started to release their solutions earlier this year, late last, and the traction's been amazing. So I'm going to talk to you about a couple of solutions that they have, but we're only going to get time today to showcase the one. So the AI enrichment, we're able to enrich content, enrich your documents with contextual metadata that basically generates information on what the document is and gives you some context to how to use it. We're also able to use AI across your knowledge assets. So if you wanted to curate, or ask questions generally of an AI model across your entire knowledge repository to bring something back specifically, you can do that.
Here I am. So as you can see, I am within our Work 10 DMS, so within the platform that I'm sure all our regular iManage users are familiar with. It's our key differentiator because we are bringing AI to your documents rather than having to take your documents outside of the safety, security of your DMS and upload them into a different platform. By doing that actual task of, downloading and uploading, you've probably lost the time efficiency of the time that you could have actually just done that review yourself. And it's also the risk that you're exposing your documents to. So as John and Doug sort of mentioned with their data governance, it's so important that there are certain sort of safety nets and guardrails that we have in place within the DMS that are preserved at all times. So here I have downloaded, I'm not sure if everyone is familiar with this recent High Court case. It's regarding Katie Taylor, the fashion designer who's gone up against Katy Perry, the pop star. It's a trademark issue. So I have used this case to demonstrate. So just to show what I've done is I've clicked on all of these. And if I click on this Ask iManage button here, it's going to take me to this view, which is our matrix view, which allows me to interrogate up to 50 documents, and I can ask up to 20 questions. But I'm just going to show this ask across first before I do the question list. And it's really, really exciting to see this in practice. So you can see that I've asked, what is the significance of this case? And it goes through its sort of thinking process, and it's provided how it's arrived at a certain answer, what it's asked of each of the questions, and then it's given me a really succinct summary here. I've also asked, how did this case change the law? I've been asking other questions such as, what was the weaknesses of the Killer Queen side? What was the weaknesses of Katie Taylor's arguments? And it's gone through and provided, by looking at all of the different case transcripts and summaries, and provided a really, really neat, lucid, cogent summary for me to use. And then if I'm happy with it, I can just copy it and move on, or I can keep interrogating and asking further questions.
I have a question, actually. Madeline and Alex, maybe you can answer, but I know we were talking about this earlier, but what specific data governance protections are around iManage and an AI model that's being used in the background? Because I know there's other software out on the market which maybe has different configurations. So you mentioned a really interesting phrase earlier when we were speaking.
It all resides under the one tenancy. So it's all Microsoft housed, all sovereign, it all lives in the same location. So there's no transferal of data across, borders or interstate or overseas or anything like that to get the processing done. It all happens in a confined, space, which is really important. And the second last point you made, Madeline, was, can it hallucinate? And the answer is the hallucination piece is all but solved. And that was a massive piece of the puzzle for iManage to get that across the line.
Okay, I'll see you all next time.